headed where, baby?
We are heading to Haunted Willow Creek Farm. We are running behind, but we will get there.
Yeah, so we are at location number 5, and we brought a special guest with us. We brought Kari, Aspen's favorite buddy. So she gets to go experience a haunted house with us. Pretty cool, and we cannot wait to take you guys with us. And we'll see you there in a few minutes. Currently standing in the middle of the dining room at Willow Creek Farm, and this is, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. My name's Al Kelchner. I'm the owner of Willow Creek Farm. This is my full-time permanent residence, and I've lived here for the past 11 years.
Okay. And we're going to learn a bit about Willow Creek Farm tonight, you guys, and its history.
What is amazing about this place, and this is not me speaking, this is people with years of experience with the paranormal, either as children, adults, investigators, mediums, empaths. And what makes this place so different, although watch, it will prove me wrong tonight, are the personal. There's a woman who came here very early on. I met her online in a website, a social media site called I Am Haunted. It's not around anymore. And Betty's from Wisconsin, Janesville area, and has grown children, one of whom is quite psychic. And I can say, this is public, it's not private information, was possessed here. And when I saw that, witnessed it, I thought it was the hokiest thing I'd ever seen. But in hindsight, it wasn't hokey at all. It really happened. She's not the only one who was here. But what's interesting, Betty was here recently with one of her sons and a friend, and we had dinner. And Betty's, Wasanda Rose's daughter's name is Savannah. And Betty said, I had the strangest thing happen to me recently. Savannah came up to me and she said, Grandma, do you know why I picked my parents? Betty looked at her, no, why? Because I knew I would have you as a grandmother. Now that's pretty creepy. Coming from, how old is she now? It's 8? From that supports, coming from an 8-year-old, that supports what you were saying and supports a claim that I've heard recently, that we can pick our parents depending upon what life path we want to take.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. So I'm getting really tired of the ooh, ooga booga, this is scary. No, it's amazing. It all starts to connect and come together. And that's what fascinates me. So we can talk about near-death experiences and an observation of heaven and reports by neurological surgeons or neurologists, scientists, and then the skeptics who also are scientists and say, well, that could just be, I forget what the common reasons are. But anyway, that we'll try and explain it away. And like everything, it's a choice. And so you can choose to believe or not. And I was accused one time of believing that everything was supernatural. That's far from the truth. In fact, I've had paranormal teams investigating here, and they'll say, oh, did you hear that? It's nothing. It's a house noise. But I will tell you, keep your eyes open. And don't just pay attention to what's going on immediately in here. The property is hugely, what's the word I want to look for? Visited. Native American presence is huge here besides white Western Europeans. And they will come up to the window. They don't come into the house out of respect. There are some pretty amazing stories that support their presence, including people camping out and back and having someone in the middle of the night shake the flap to the tent, or hear them walking around and pushing on the tent. And to support what I'm telling you, there is a weekend getaway of cabins called Hickory Hideaway, about 4 miles from here. Frequently people from Chicago come out for the weekend. I know the owners, and they've told me that, of course, at the end of a visit, they want to know if the visitors enjoyed themselves and was it a relaxing weekend away from the hustle and bustle of the city. And people generally respond, yeah, it was really pleasant. We really enjoyed ourselves. Occasionally, they'll respond, but it was kind of strange. We woke up in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and we heard drumming.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and here, multiple people have heard drumming and chanting. And I've had a couple personal experiences here that didn't really prove anything, but they certainly fit the profile of Native Americans and their beliefs and the great creator and spirits. Powerful stuff. Stuff I hesitate to deal with.
Well, it's so vast. I mean, there's just so much more to it.
Yeah.
Just with their culture alone. Is there, dare I ask, is there any type of Native American, I mean, was at this point in time in the history of the property, was this a pathway? Was this a place where Native Americans, lived?
Oh,
I mean,
huge.
So just this kind of this general area as a whole.
Yeah, huge. There were 5 young men who lived on this road. 2 were brothers. I don't know the details of the story. And then 3 were they were friends. They all lived on this road. They all went to fight in the Civil War, and they all survived and came back. I spoke with a woman the other day who grew up in this area. She's in her late 50s, I think. And she knows this house, and she knows about it. And she was saying, that whole area around this farm, not just here, but the whole area, surrounding area, if you go a mile maybe in diameter or radius and go around, it's always been strange. People always talk about strange things happening here. People ask me, why is it haunted? I don't know, but some of the claims are that ley lines have something to do with it. There's a ley line that runs through here, that water has something to do with it. But you don't have to dig too far below the surface and you run into huge slabs of limestone, which is crystal quartz. This thing, which we believe is, I don't know, elemental, whatever the heck an elemental is, something of the land, it's not human, it's been here forever, could be thousands of years, is angry because I've taken control here and I've turned this into, I love Andrea Perron's, the title of her book, House of Darkness, House of Light. You familiar with the book?
No.
You're familiar with the movie Conjuring?
Yes.
Okay, so that was about a family, the Perron family in Rhode Island, who bought the Arnold estate and lived through a decade of incredible experiences, some of them very negative. And that's why the title of the book is House of Darkness, House of Light. From darkness can come light. And I can tell you here, from darkness experiences I've had and others, there was an awakening and a lesson learned, and that's the light. But this was very dark, and I was told that it morphed, and what these 2 mediums saw was an older, rather plain-looking woman dressed all in black. She was in the living room. She was surrounded by other spirits, and like the layers of an onion as they peeled back, the 2 mediums saw her. And they claimed she's not going to go after you, physically. It's going to be mental. And they withheld this information until Sunday, late at night, when they were ready to leave, because they couldn't put all the pieces together. But that's finally what they came up with. In summary, and things did happen, some very strange things, growls and stuff like that. What'd you hear?
Oh, well, nothing I heard.
What'd you say?
Who is the picture on the wall in there?
Nothing.
to the right.
Abercrombie, Lord Abercrombie. Why? What did you do?
Not,
Spin it out, Matt.
like, can you see the picture from here?
No,
I
my
can't
vision's
see.
not that good.
Yeah, no, mine isn't either.
The picture, that was weird.
I gotta look. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to explain that.
Just say it.
Like, the picture frame didn't move, but the picture, like, came into full view of me.
Oh, good.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever
So the
seen.
one over in the corner over here.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah.
How did you know that I seen that?
Because I keep saying this, because I can't believe it myself. I've lived here 10 years. I've watched people's reaction. I've observed my own reaction. And this place is not... I'm going to tell you a couple stories. There's so much to tell about this place. It is a very different, unique haunting.
Well, I thought it was like shadows, and I'm like, okay, is there a cat moving in there? Because like, I could probably walk in there pretty much and tell you how the picture was, because it, like, I could see the picture, but I cannot see it right now.
Any-
I can't
Did
see
it
the
like
picture.
turn towards you? Like
The picture frame didn't move, but the whatever's on there, I could see it from here.
Lord Abercrombie.
Yeah, and I'm like, and
It
I
is
knew
an
it.
antique. Now, that's
And I
something
knew it was
that's
an old, like,
It's old.
yeah,
1700. It's 1801. I
and
think,
it looked
actually.
like
It's an
almost
1801.
Renaissance-y.
Yeah.
Man.
No, that's an original. It's a original print. Isn't worth.
That was cool.
anything, but yeah, and that's the thing that's interesting about this place. I'll take the claim that other people make about it being it's really haunted. It's really a different haunting. It's not big in your face stuff most of the time. It's stuff like that, but it can be a lot of stuff like that. So throughout the night, just kind of.
Well, I thought you had one of those pictures.
I know.
Oh, that you move and it moves with you.
That's why I was sitting here, like, I'm listening to him going, but nothing.
Well, you're gonna hear things too.
That was really, like, that's what it reminded me of, one of those.
Merlin will get
yeah,
in there.
where you
Yeah,
walk, you
yeah.
walk by, it's fine, and then so that would probably help explain why I get little palpitations here and there from time to time.
Here?
Just sitting here talking.
Yep.
When I first walked in, we were gabbing and whatever, and then we sat down at the table. I was like, I feel like I just ate a turkey.
There's a ton of energy here, and if you're psychic and medium, you walk in here and they're like a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh my god! And sometimes it's real big, right, Missy?
I started, like, when that happened, I started, like, going like this. I'm like,
It's quite.
I'm
I
like,
don't know
is this
why.
light thing gonna do anything?
But you're talking because that's what we discussed, 8 feet. You know,
And that'd
that's
be
more
more
than
Yeah,
8
but
feet.
usually when there are people here who they don't know, they like to visit.
Sorts of it.
So guys, we were talking about negative energy. And I guess the reason I asked the question of you is because recently you said we went to a haunted area, which I fully believe is haunted.
In
Malvern
at Malvern.
has a reputation, yeah.
And I think what she's getting at is a lot of people, they called it the shadow hallway,
Shadow Man's hallway.
shadow man's hallway, and they would see this tall, shadowy figure dart at them, like wanting to get them out of there. In story goes of that he didn't speak and things like that. But when I went there, when we all went there, I was the only one that actually had anything happen in that particular hallway, and it wasn't anything negative like that. And it was the same type of movement, but not at me and not directed towards me, and it was more, it literally scared the crap out of me.
Sure.
He jumped on
Because you
me.
don't know. You
But
don't understand
it didn't lunge at me. It didn't seem negative in any way at all. But everybody else was saying, well, that's a very negative area, negative energy. But to me, it was totally different.
So why are they saying it's negative?
I guess more that is kind of a violent individual that, and it's the way the shadow was,
Purely speculation. Let me ask you. When you're on or I suppose where you'd really experience this is if you were on foot patrol. You can feel negative people. You can feel people that you better keep your eye on. Because they're up to no good. Do you feel varying degrees of that?
Oh, yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just transferred to different...
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, these are people. Yeah. Whether they're living in the flesh and blood or they've passed on, they don't change. Leopard doesn't change its spots, can't teach an old dog new tricks. They're still negative. What's interesting is the belief, and in recording, and I don't know how scientific this is, but negative energies have lower frequency vibration. Higher energies, like good people have passed on, have a higher frequency vibration. I haven't studied it. It's not my claim, but that's what I've been told.
Do you think, okay, lower and higher frequency? So when we both went to that area, but I didn't ever enter down the hallway.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I was welcome to walk down there. I just didn't.
You weren't.
And so I never went down there. Up the stairs to the right?
Yeah. On the left is Lily and Mary's room. And then there goes Merlin.
Well, hello. I love your cat. I had a cat a lot like him. Her name was Bella. Well, hello. I know. Hi, pretty boy. Her name was Bella, and she was my best friend.
Huh. So the girls' room is on the left. You're going to go through the what was the original master bedroom on the right, but I call it the reading room or whatever, the nursery, and then the master bedroom, which is where Sarah is probably standing right now.
So this room?
No, that's the nursery. Past the nursery.
Oh, there's a room past it?
Yeah. And the girls are in the left room.
Well, hi, Merlin. Hello.
Sarah. How are you? Heard a lot about you. Absolutely amazing. Finding your true love and saving him. That's cool.
Let's see, where am I at here? Yeah, and then we'll do some EVPs, but this is what these are photos, so this will give you an idea. o'clock at night.
Yep.
Seance.
The light.
Oh wow.
They're volleying.
That's spirit energy, in my opinion. First photo ever taken of the farm. I'm not big on orbs, but there's always something going on in that hallway. There's the master bedroom. Could that be Sarah?
I'm pretty sure I was going to say that.
Oh, this is not the one. Oh, yeah,
Is that a face?
Yeah.
her body.
Yeah.
EVPs. This is the from the basement.
Get out of here?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sarah just touched the back of my head. That's cool.
Cool. Maybe not though. Could have been big.
Maybe not.
Could have been Big Mike.